I respect everybody until they earn my disrespect. The NSA has started a all-out blitz campaign to get most of Americans to believe that they have stopped or thwarted over 50 attacks, they say, worldwide, United States and other countries. And they say that this is because of their snooping, data mining, they call it. Well, let's all go back to the very beginning, because data mining is unconstitutional on its face. They take communications constitutionally covered. You can't just grab people's communications. This has been established through the courts before. Now the NSA seems to think that because they're doing it to everybody at once, all of a sudden it becomes constitutional. That's just a crock of shit. It is unconstitutional from the get-go. You cannot store my communications with somebody else until you may need them later. Or maybe after I die, some embarrassing fact will come to light and you need... What are you saving this shit for? I'm pretty sure I know. I'm pretty sure I figured it out. First of all, let's get to the pundits. Shill O'Reilly, who's trying to shove it down everybody's throat that we're okay with this horse shit. It is unconstitutional. End of story. And we are not okay with this. No American is okay with having Uncle Sam listen in on their phone calls. They're not listening in, they're just storing them until they might need them, and then they need a court warrant. Really? You mean the same court who has not once turned down one of those requests? So, back to the NSA. Now, people don't realize that what the FBI and the CIA do to thwart these attacks is you sidle up to a suspected terrorist and you espouse the same beliefs that you think they have. You say the same type of things they say, either about the government or even a religion, and you get them to think that you're on their side, you're with them, you're one of them. And what the FBI does then is they will plan an attack with these people, and this is partly to find out if they really are a terrorist, a subversive, an infiltrator. You can find out a lot by just A, getting next to them, B, getting their confidence, okay? And then C, if you're in on a plot with them, they usually think that you're very close to them. So, in setting up these stings, which is basically what it is. It's kind of like a cop saying, well, hey, man, I can get you a half pound of marijuana for $500, man. And the drug dealer goes for it. Where the hell else is he going to find a half a pound for $500? Well, this is conspiracy. That is a crime. Not on the cop's part, but on the criminal's part. See, because cops, and that would include the FBI, can lie to you. They can deceive you. You can't do it to them. But anyway. And what I was wondering is, do you people realize that the 50 thwarted terror attacks around the world were more than likely the CIA sidling up or befriending a suspected terrorist? Now, what they do then, and this is, we've seen, try to think Boston bomber as I explain this scenario to you. What they do is they supply the terrorist, and usually it's inert ingredients. It means it can't harm anybody. You're not going to make a bomb with an inert ingredient. You're not going to make a bomb with a faulty trigger. And this is what the FBI will do. They will supply the suspected terrorist or bomber or whoever with a plot which they can monitor, the FBI, the CIA, whoever's involved, they can monitor it. Because if they're in on the plot with the guy, they're with him, they can keep track of him, they can monitor him. So what they do is they try to walk these suspected terrorists or, whoever, the criminal, and they will hold their hand and walk them through the scenario. We're going to do it here on this date and this crowd with these people. And when you do that, you basically control the scenario. As I said, if you give a man an inner ingredients, nobody's going to get killed. If you give a man a faulty trigger, nobody's going to get killed. If you, lead him to where there are no people, or, he thought there were, and you just totally mislead them, you are in control. Now, I wonder, does anybody out there, now as I said, try to think Boston bombers, because if you all think back, and the photographs are all still out there, you can still go back and peruse this stuff. Does anybody realize that these two Tsarnaev kids, their mother is now screaming at the top of her lungs that the FBI knew all about these kids. They were in touch with these kids almost on a constant basis. So what I'm going to ask here is, do you people actually believe that these two Tsarnaev kids pulled this off by themselves? Because I don't. You see, I think they were dupes. They may have wanted to plan an attack. They may have espoused anti-American sentiments, their pro-Muslim sentiments. So I don't think they're very hard to spot. I think that the average American citizen would be able to spot these people just as easily as a CIA or an FBI agent. I honestly do. But anyway, how hard? Because these scenarios are happening over and over again. This is a tactic of the FBI, the CIA. They sidle up to the suspected terrorist, and they get the suspected terrorist to think that they're one of them, and that they're going to work together. Sometimes this takes a long time. They don't just trust everybody. Not everybody just trusts another person. So you have to gain their trust. So how many people out there really don't think that the FBI or the CIA would actually let one of these plots go off? They didn't give them inert ingredients. They didn't give them an inert or a malfunctioning timer or, fuse. What if they wanted it to go off? It wouldn't be hard, would it? You already have these kids by the nose. These kids already think you work with them. They think that the plan is already, going off. Now, what if you wanted the attack? Because that would, bolster your political motives. But you don't want the witnesses. What do you do then? Well, I think you do exactly what happened in Boston. You walk these kids through, and they could have been fooled, duped into thinking that, oh no, this is just part of a scenario. This isn't even real. You're empty. You're carrying a pressure cooker full of sand. There's no worries. Nothing's going to go off. Unbeknownst to the kids, they were being duped. They were being used. They wanted to use them. They set these kids up. Now the NSA comes forward and says, well, this is how, we stop all of these. I think that beyond a shadow of a doubt in my mind, nobody has the balls to come over here in America and do that shit. Because they know the might that Uncle Sam carries. They know the weight of screwing with America. So they wouldn't dare come here and mess with us on their own. I don't think they have the cojones. I think the CIA, the FBI, the NSA are all in bed together. And who do we see peeking out from underneath the covers? Oh, bunghole. So you want to look into the Boston bombings very closely. I think we want to look into Aurora very closely. Remember, 2 gas masks. 2 gas masks? 2 gas cylinders. 2 gas cylinders. Yeah, think about it. That kid wasn't alone. Let's go to Sandy Hook. Why are we not seeing any of the brand new surveillance system footage? Nobody's showing us a lone kid walking into that school. Why? I think it's because a lone kid did not walk into that school. I think a kid with handlers walked into that school and just started shooting. And then blew that kid's head off. After they, the handlers, blew Mom's head off and drove him from Long Island to Connecticut. Why don't you go and see how long of a ride that is? For an autistic kid, something's not right here. I'm not saying 20 kids didn't die. What I am saying, they didn't die at that kid's hands. I don't think that kid shot anybody. I think he was duped. He was brainwashed. He was Manchurian candidated by the CIA, the FBI. And old bunghole, remember? He's peeking out from underneath them covers. He used it to his political advantage. We need to start investigating for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. When the news programs tell you 5 different stories in 5 minutes, something's up. This is smoke and mirrors. And it is on purpose. They do it on purpose. They mislead you down every direction on purpose. This is done on purpose. So the next time some terrorist bomber comes into the United States, we might want to question, where was the FBI? Where was the CIA? And what the hell is the purpose of the NSA? They're liars. I don't believe 50 were thwarted. I think you're too busy watching me watch Scooby-Doo. We need to investigate for ourselves, Americans. This is up to you and me. We need to wake up. I love my country, and I don't want to watch her die. God bless America. God bless us all. I think we're going to need it.